Oh, all right. Welcome back, guys. If this is your first time here, welcome. So check it out. I have been tearing through and ripping up the topic of creating your own path. I've been talking about this for pretty much a week. It's been like the week's topic. And I wanted to close off the topic with this video. So this video is going to talk about that again a little bit more. I'm going to go into some more details. And I'm also going to start transitioning this video into the next topic that I'm going to talk about for a week, because that kind of ties right into this. All right. So without further ado, and all those other little jazzy things that people say, let's get straight into the episode. Feel this. And it starts to shine, and I see it burn when you bring me sunlight. So, in the podcast, I broke down some of the benefits of creating your own path, some of the perks, some of the different things, you know, that you can kind of develop and grow from that. Same thing in the blog, kind of broke that down a little bit. We also kind of really briefly spoke about the fact that you don't have to be an entrepreneur. You don't have to make, one of these crazy, radical, massive changes, change your entire job, change all these different things to create your own path. That's not necessarily what creating your own path means. It's not necessarily what you have to do. If that's what you want to do, you can, more power to you, but you don't have to do that, okay? You don't have to be an entrepreneur to create your own path. Anyone can create their own path. And they can create their own path in almost anything. It's just more so about being true to yourself and, I guess, playing by their rules, playing by the rules that you've been given, but at the same time playing by your own rules ethically. It's probably the best way to summarize that. It's pretty much doing what you want to do, but doing it ethically. So it's not necessarily following a set curriculum or a set course or a set of directions that tell you what you have to do next. It's more so, knowing what you want to do and doing it ethically, not doing something, immoral or dangerous or illegal. But that's pretty much, what that is. In this video, we are going to talk about creating your own path and at the same time finding your purpose. Because finding your purpose ties directly into creating your own path. In my opinion, I think purpose is massive. I think it's one of the huge pillars in life. It's something that if you know your purpose, or if you know your purpose for living, or if you know your purpose for doing something, it gives you a little bit more guidance moving forward. So when you're creating your own path, if you know your purpose, or if you can find your purpose on that path, then it makes the next steps a little bit easier. See, purpose gives meaning and context to life and to what you do and why you do it. And I think most people know that, but I think what most people don't know is they don't know how to find that purpose, or how to figure out what their purpose is, or how to be sure of what their purpose is. So they spend their time trying to create a way to find their purpose, or they spend their time trying to create their purpose, and it doesn't really work. Doesn't necessarily work out like that always, and eventually, sometimes, most of the time, what a lot of people, what most people will do is they'll probably just kind of push purpose to the side. They'll just kind of keep doing what they were doing, and they'll get back to purpose. They'll view it as it's not that important right now. What's more so important is, living in the moment, and then I'll figure out my purpose later. Living in the moment is really important. It's really cool. It's something that I like to advise people to do all the time. But living in the moment without a purpose is reckless, because you're just kind of out there. I mean, if that's what you want to do, you can do that. But most people kind of need some kind of direction. Otherwise, you can find yourself getting lost, especially if you're creating your own path. It's one of the easiest ways to kind of get lost, because you're just kind of out there with no direction, no needle or no nose towards north. You're not really knowing where you're going, how you're getting there, and you're just kind of moving blindly. We're not trying to move blindly. There are ways that you can kind of figure out which steps are the next steps to make, and that goes back to purpose. But the crazy thing is, as you create your own path, or at least as you try to create your own path, or as you're on this path that you're creating, sometimes you'll find that purpose will just kind of stumble its way into you. You won't necessarily be looking for it. It'll just kind of find itself. Or you'll just kind of realize purpose while you're creating your own path. Probably thinking like, how, right? Like, how does that even work? I get it. Check this out. As you spend time creating your own path and not replicating a path that you're trying to reproduce, instead of, trying to replicate the life that someone else has lived, or replicate someone else's success, or, instead of trying to live by the definitions of someone else, what's going to happen is your actions will become very apparent to you. So what does that mean? That means that very quickly you're going to realize that the way that you're acting, the things that you're doing, everything's going to come very clear to you. You're going to see things differently because now you're creating the path. So now you're going to see why you do certain things. For the good, the bad, and the ugly. You're going to understand some of it. Most of it you probably won't, but you're going to see your actions. You're going to see the bad things that you've been doing, and you'll catch them really quick. You're going to see the good things you've been doing. You'll catch them really quick. And you're going to kind of see what's been motivating you to do the good, and vice versa. And the best thing about that is if you can figure out the commonalities between those actions, it'll kind of give you an idea of purpose, because it will give you an understanding as to why some of the good things are happening and whether or not you want to continue that. It'll also give you an idea of why some of the bad things are happening and whether or not you want to continue that. Your purpose, your meaning, they all reside in those similarities of those actions. And the quicker that you realize that as you're creating your own path, you're creating your own actions, which are creating those similarities, you're going to realize that you're also creating your own purpose. See, purpose is something that people think, it's been set. This is what's going to be my purpose. No, actually, you create your purpose. You create your purpose. And you create your purpose by your actions. You create your purpose by your decisions. You create your purpose as you create your path. So if you're not creating your own path, and if you're following someone else, or if you're trying to be someone else, then purpose is not really going to occur. What's going to instead end up happening is you're just kind of going through the motions, and as you're going through these motions, there isn't any substance behind it, because you don't really understand why you're doing what you're doing. You're only doing it because you think that it's going to lead to a certain outcome. But if you're creating your own path, you're creating your own actions, you're creating these similarities, you're creating your purpose, it's a little bit cooler, because if you don't like what's being created, you can change it. You can adjust it. You can alter it. You'll kind of know, okay, why have I been doing the good things? Is there another way for me to do the good things that I've been doing? You'll also know, okay, I've been doing these bad things for this reason. Let me get rid of this. This doesn't match the purpose. This doesn't match the good things I've been doing. It's very rare that you're going to do the good things and the bad things for the same reasons. That's very rare. Usually that's not the case. I can't really think of a scenario where that's the case. So you don't have to worry about that. More so, you need to worry about creating that path, because once you start creating your own path, everything else is going to start lining up. You don't have to be an entrepreneur. You don't have to be, you know, your own boss. You don't have to be a millionaire. You don't you don't have to be any of those things to create your own path. The only thing that you have to be is special, and every single person is special in their own way, which means they can create their own path in their own way. It's no right or wrong when you're, creating your own path. As long as, again, you're being ethical, and as long as you're not doing anything illegal, and as long as your morals are in the right stance, and as long as you're following that high five that I went over in my earlier videos, you're gonna be okay. You can create your own path and you'll be fine. It'll be a little scary, but you'll be fine. You'll get to where you're supposed to go. But don't let the fear of the unknown chase you off of creating your own path. Don't let someone else scare you off of creating your own path. Don't let someone's personal judgments of you, or don't let someone's personal opinions of you change you from creating your own path. If you want to do or accomplish something, go for it. There's nothing stopping you from doing it. And if there's, a certain way that you feel that you should be living, or if there's like a certain, a certain course that you feel like you should be following, you can follow it. But again, throughout doing it, just remember to be yourself, be true to yourself, and along the way, as long as you're being authentic with yourself and you're being authentic about who you are, it's going to end up becoming your own path. So that's it. Go out there, create your own path. Please enjoy the journey of creating the path, because as cool as it is to get to the destination, it's even cooler to notice everything on the way to the destination. And don't let anybody stop you. And that's it for the video. So if you like the video, please go ahead, hit the like button. It's a thumbs up. It's somewhere down there. You could just hit it. Bam, you'll know you hit it because it'll light up. Please feel free to subscribe so you can see the next videos. You can hear the audio. Please feel free, follow my page, follow my blog, follow all that other stuff. Just check it out. And that's it, man. Check me out on the next one. Next video, we're going to be talking a little bit more about finding your purpose. All right? Later.